Hello, my name is Ajuma Nasenyana. I'm from Kenya. I run Ajuma Limited, which is a casting and talent management agency. But I'm also really big in philanthropy. So I have my own charity organization called Ajuma Foundation.
Hey, it's Kellen. And today on Diversified Game, I get to bring someone that I had met in Kenya, in Nairobi, at a mixer that the great Olive Machetta, the Lion, put together. And she invited the queen, Ajuma. And I say queen because she's an international fashion model. She let me know that too. And I said, you have to be a model. And I'm looking at her, I'm a tall guy. So we're like sitting eye to eye. And she's like, I'm an internet. I said, oh, this is serious, but she is. Victoria's Secret, Carlos, so many folks, Lacoste, they know this woman. They've hired her for things, and it's not easy. Modeling is not easy for those who think you just wake up and look like this. So Ajuma, welcome to the show. How are you doing, my dear?
I'm good. Nice to see you again over here.
Yes, and let me greet you also like if I was still in Nairobi, in the Westlands, Mambo, Uhaligani, boom.
Niko salama na wewe.
Hey.
I'm saying, what about you?
Yeah, poor sana. you think it stopped? Tropidale. It don't stop, baby. It does not stop. We that's Swahili for you guys. And let me tell you guys, if you go to Kenya, please be able to do the basic mambo, jumbo, asante sana. Yes. Please just do the basics. It's just polite.
Did you hear what you just say there? Mambo jumbo.
I need to have a shirt like that, and throw it there. But let's start with, I know you're big into philanthropy, but I want to start with, you got your, claim to fame with the modeling. At what age did you know, like, I wanted to be a model? And then at what age did it just kind of take off for you? Because some of your story you've documented on so many shows, I want them to Google you. So I want to kind of, almost fast forward because you're so much more than modeling now.
Yes. So the thing is that, like, growing up, I really didn't believe I was beautiful because, of course, my skin tone was darker than like just the average child. So what the typical standards of beauty in Kenya is that you got to be light skinned to be pretty. So I grew up my whole life knowing that I'm not attractive, I'm not beautiful, and of course, obviously, I got teased by the children and called names. So when it comes to beauty and me, knowing when I was going to be a model, I thought I would never be a model because I wasn't beautiful enough to be one. So in regards to that, I've never known that I could be a model. I was actually a tomboy in school. That is how I what do you call it? It was a coping mechanism for me. I was like crazy sports woman, and I was rough tomboy and so on. So I replaced the fact that I felt, I had low self-esteem due to, of course, the feeling that I was not attractive even enough. My coping mechanism was now being tomboy, rough, sportswoman and everything. So I was pretty good and talented in sports as well. So I used to run and win everything in school. Then I was actually scouted by a coach, an American coach from Virginia. He used to be in Virginia Military Academy and used to coach the first Olympic champion ever in Kenya. So he saw me running in school. He's like, oh my goodness, I want that child and I want to give her a scholarship. She's got like great talent. So I went on to train with these with the International Olympic Committee and also together with IAAF, and I became the national champion in 400 meters after a year. So I was on the newspapers and all that. And then I got spotted by a Ford agent. Ford, of course, one of the biggest modeling agency in the world then when I was starting. I got spotted by one of their agents. They're like, oh my goodness, we have to find this girl. She's beautiful, she's unique. She's just something different. So they managed to track me down. And they were like, oh my gosh, I think you should be a model. I'm just like, I don't think so. They're like, come on, you look great. You can do amazing. I'm like, no, I'm an athlete. I'm going for a scholarship in the US. And they're like, give us a little chance. Just give us like a week in Paris. And then you see like what happens. If you still don't want to do it, we'll let you go and do your athletics. So I came to Paris. For that week, oh my goodness, I booked like crazy shows. I booked even people I didn't even know, because it was, I had nothing. I didn't know anything to do with the modeling or fashion world. So every time I walk into the agency, everybody's screaming, oh, Ajuma, you've booked Lacoste. I'm like, okay, who's that? Whatever, right? And then they're like, oh, you booked Vivienne Westwood. All my agents are excited. Every time I book a job, I have no idea who these designers are or anything like that. So the thing was that, just to cut the story short, athletics was painful. Oh my goodness, it was so painful, like having to train 3 times a day, pushing your body, like every time you make it, you have to push even further. I mean, the pain was like crazy. And then I came to this modeling world where I just have to walk 30 seconds and I get paid. I don't feel no pain. I mean, I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna try and go for this. So that is how it all went.
How much of it is, timing? Because, you have an agency now, and you go, and even with your philanthropy, you're, mentoring young people. And I'm sure you see the young Juma, and you're like, hey, that's me at that age. That's me. But is it a timing thing? Because you see, there are so many beautiful women. And what made you stand out, do you think? Like, what was that work ethic? What was that? Was it just being pleasant to people? And give this secret sauce for that young model right now, or inspiring model, to how do I take it to the next level? What did you do? Because many people think you have to sleep your way to the top. And I tell people, if you think that, you'll never be there long if you think that's how you get there. So please give them the game on what made you stand out. What did you maybe do different that you can look back in hindsight?
Okay, I think, first of all, I was oblivious to the industry because I didn't know anything about the industry. So I went in quite innocent, and, I didn't know anything, and I was just, trying, just winging it more or less. But then I think the thing that really made me endure the industry, even with the with the disadvantages and negativity that comes with a job, I think it's my foundation, where I come from, my culture. I think that is where my grounding came from, because the thing is that I was never swayed by hype or by, I don't know, what people talk about, drugs and partying. And I just didn't get lost in all of that, because I knew exactly who I am. I knew exactly where I came from. I knew what my values are. And of course, also being very nice, you have to be polite to people. I'm a very down-to-earth person. I'm a people's person. So I think people find it quite easy to work with me, because I don't know, sometimes they call me a chameleon, because I gel in every single situation. I can be, I can banter with a child or a grandmother or a teenager. I'm just cool like that. So I guess, it's easier. I guess that is a very important personality trait to have in the industry.
Awesome. And I just let the people know, like, when I see you now, when I saw her at the mixer, she had this, bucket hat on, she's chilling. And I just want to know, like, when you wake up, is there ever any pressure to say because, you can put on anything. That's what you do for a living, and you make it look good. Is there any pressure to say, oh, when I go out, the people are going to judge me like this? Or how do you even pick out your outfits as an international model?
Do you know what? Like right now, literally, for me, unless I'm working, I get paid to put on makeup. I get paid to wear heels. I get paid to I'm spoiled like that. So the thing is that even right now, I just washed my face, moisturized it. I don't have anything on me. So when it's just my time, I don't do anything to my skin, or I have no pressure in any way of dressing some type of way. I'm just myself. When I'm working, you have to understand, modeling is a job, right? I have a whole team that dresses me up, does my makeup. There's a whole crew. What that final picture or video or whatever it is that comes out of my job, there's a whole crew behind that, right? I'm not going to be doing that for people every day. Seriously. So I just wash my face like right now and sit and talk to you.
I love it because my wife has one of those faces, and I say, you don't need makeup. And the people who are over caking makeup, looking like a drag queen, they're not even getting paid to do it. They're doing it, whatever fantasy land.
It's so much time. It's so expensive. It's oh my gosh. I don't know. It's too much pressure trying to look some type of way. Unless you're marketing something, right? Because I'm not gonna do all that.
You guys hear an international model tell you about that? Come on, let's especially for for melanated Black women, you don't need all that. Half those makeups weren't even made for you, so they're breaking your skin anyway when you're doing it every day. I like the natural look. That's me.
You're beautiful just like you are. Not everybody's gonna think. Beauty's in there. Eye of the beholder. Not everybody's going to think you're beautiful, but so what? Are you going to have to please everybody and go through the pressure of, making yourself up so you can, people can think, I don't know, some type of way about you? That is just, I don't know, that is just giving yourself too much, too much work. Yeah.
Amen. Amen. Can we have a teachable moment for the, inspiring model or the person who maybe even be a professional that they're listening? More people listen than watch, but that can change in an algorithm switch at any time. But can you talk about monetizing your career? Because here you are now, in charge of people's careers as well. But here in the States, we have people who are paying just so they look like they're a professional model in hopes of getting a paid gig. And they think that once they get that Victoria's Secret, check or that Lacoste check, that they'll be able to retire for the rest of their life. Can you talk about the ranges of money that models can expect to get paid nowadays?
All I can say is that you're not going to retire with modeling. You're going to have to venture out into other things. Yes, modeling is just like a stepping stone into other bigger things. You have to be woke. You have to, not think modeling is not a means to an end. It is just the beginning. It's just like I said, it's just a foundation. I used it as a foundation, for example, where I was able to, grow from it and venture into other things. Like, for example, I took the lesson in the international industry, and now I'm implementing it in Kenya by, starting my own modeling and casting agency and trying to get local models into the international industry. I also use, like, for example, my name, like the person that I became through my modeling, in order to, to do charity and give back to the community. I'm able to open doors because of modeling, because of, I made a name for myself in the industry. So people are able to, I'm able to open doors for my charity as well. So those are the kind of things that you do when it comes to modeling. It's just a foundation. Stop. These little girls who think that, they don't need to concentrate in school or go to uni or I don't know, work hard in whatever it is that they're doing, just because they think, I'm just going to be a model. It's going to be easy. I'm just going to, walk up and down a runway and then get millions of dollars and think. That is a lie. That is not true. It's not true at all. So just use it as, a stepping stone, a foundation for you to grow as a person and also to grow your career in other areas.
I'm no spring chicken into this industry. And for years, even when I was in uni and we were doing magazines, I would tell people, people. Modeling is a stepping stone. And sometimes people will look at it like, are you crushing my dream? No, but you need, what else can you do? So I'm so glad that you said that, because people from 20 years ago, God willing, will listen and say, hey, I might need to try, because there's still people trying to get into the industry or trying to make a living out of it.
I mean, it's wild, especially, I mean, I can just say even in Kenya, all the girls want to be models. You know, when I call a modeling, like a casting for models, I mean, you will get everyone. For example, even a girl who is 5'2", you know, girl busty, a girl who's like, you know, I mean, you're not going to get they're not going to get the criteria right, because everybody thinks they're a model. You just get all kinds of girls coming, because in their head, they think this is easy, it's glamorous. Oh my gosh, they just need to stop. I mean, that bubble needs to burst.
Does your agency deal with, let's say there is somebody stunning, great attitude, because beauty so much comes from within, that is 5'2", where you say, well, we can find you print work. Are you looking for that supermodel, that international runway, you know, Ajuma, Naomi Campbell, look? Is that what you're looking for at your agency? Just so they know before they try to email you and say, I'm the next.
No, it's not. I'm not looking for anything specific. It's just sometimes it depends on what the client requires. If the client requires high fashion model, then I'm going to look for that tall, you know, tall, slim girl. If a client is looking for a little baby, I mean, a newborn, I do that as well. If they're looking for a family setting where you have a grandmother, father, brother, I do that. So, I mean, I cut across board. So I'm not looking for anything specific. It depends on what the client is, you know, requests for.
Okay, and that's great to know, because when I start sending you people, I actually had one at the party that was 6'2". For you, and you know, I'll bother you about that later. But I just want to know, and you know, with having the business, is it also, you know, in Europe as well as in Kenya? Are you covering all areas wherever you travel? Because you've gone all over Canada, US. I mean, you've done it all. So are you finding talent and doing business globally?
No, I'm actually specifically in Kenya, but with that said, I do cast Pan-African talent as well. So, because you'll get Coca-Cola who want to shoot in Kenya, for example, they'll be looking for Ghanaians or Nigerians, Rwandese, not just specifically Kenyans, even Chinese, you know. So I cast, I mean, I am based in Kenya, and it's the business is specifically in Kenya, but I cast people from, you know, Pan-African talent and also international talent, which are in Kenya. Okay,
so now all my Americans, especially the Black Americans who view and will listen, they're gonna say, "Oh, let me go. I can find a job." You know,
no, when they're on holiday, when they come to tour, they were like, "Okay, let me look for Ajuma. Maybe I can make some extra money."
yeah, and want to stay, because Kenya, I mean, you know, it's such a beautiful place, and things, you know, are just progressing. But tell the people, because I feel like, and maybe you already have it, but I know there's a book in you, maybe book turned movie. Have you started writing the book yet?
No. No, I mean, I'm doing my little cultural project with the kids, with my charity for the children, like to, you know, introduce the different tribes and teach them about the different tribes of Kenya. But when it comes to storytelling, no.
Okay. Again, something to follow up with you. You know, we're on WhatsApp, so I got your line now. So in 3 months, you'll hear about it. Because you just write little by little, small. Then you say, wait, I got enough to, you know, put something down.
You know what? That's a good idea. Maybe I should start doing that.
Yeah, the story must be told. And, you know, the old saying is, we've let other people tell our stories.
Yes.
Having a publishing company and publishing, I mean, it's really just for the family and the internal family, so we can control our narrative. In America, out of children's books, only like less than 2% were written by people. Like even Black books weren't written by us. So we have African books being written by the Mzungu, which that's fine that someone's doing it, but we need to tell our stories, and we keep hearing that. So we need to do something about it. So no pressure, but again, I'll follow up with you. Tell me this, because we went to the Nairobi Fashion Week. I wore some Bamenda wear, which is Northwest Cameroon style clothing. And I thought I was a model. And you talk to me, you've seen me, you've touched me. My head, it can blow up almost like Kanye West and Trump.
Right.
Can I take a picture? When did you design that? I said, no, this is older than you and me. One lady said, no, you're lying. You designed that. But one guy, Brian, he told me, he said, we don't really get to wear our cultural wear here in Nairobi. This is like New York. And he's like, I'm afraid if I did wear my cultural wear outside, my Maasai wear, he's like, I don't think I'd be hired for certain jobs. And he's from Kibera. And so what you're talking about the tribes to the kids, I want to buy cultural wear from the different tribes because I love that fashion. To me, that's the highest fashion and it's the oldest fashion.
Yes,
so
yes.
Fashion-wise, are you working on anything or do you have anything where we can all learn and just like you're teaching the kids, maybe it's another reason for the book where because Maasai is not the only tribe. Kakuru is not the only tribe. So where can we learn from you and what you're teaching the kids about the different tribes?
I still haven't gotten to the adults yet. I try to do my own, like, for example, through photography, where, of course, I dress in the different tribes and, do small shoots where I post on my Instagram. But eventually, what I really would dream or would love to do is like, for example, you have the kitenge, like, the kitenge, the Ankara, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have people integrating Ankara and like, of course, the modern clothes, right?
Yes.
I would love to do a similar thing like that, but with traditional, with our cultural regalia, pieces of our cultural regalia. For me, right now, I'm focusing on promoting culture to the children because of course, we are infamous for tribalism in our country, especially during election season. We clash a lot, and I feel like one of the biggest reasons for this is because we do not know each other really well, because there's some rural areas in Kenya where they're not able to get information from other areas of Kenya. And what you don't know, obviously, you will be afraid of. So my job is to go around with my exercise books, my notebooks, teach the children about keep the children in school with free notebooks, but at the same time, teach them about the different cultures of Kenya, get them acquainted with our different cultures, also help them to position themselves within our map as well. And so one of my pillars for my foundation is bringing up a more united younger generation of Kenya. But when it comes to adults, I haven't yet thought that far. But for now, I just do my own little cultural shoots in the different tribes. I just post them on my Instagram, for now. So people are able to see the different cultures of Kenya.
We've talked about your philanthropy work so much, but that's actually my signature question. What is a community give back that you are doing or that you want to do in the future? So let's expound and talk more about, some of the things that you have done for the community and even some of the, the impact, the exposure is everything and the changes. Just go on and talk about all of that, because with every successful person, you have to be able to give back or you're really not successful.
Yes. So with me, maybe I can start with why I'm so passionate about about philanthropy. It's because, of course, I come from a humble background. I come from a little village in the north of Kenya. And growing up, of course, I was born of a teenage mother, and I was able to get what do you call it? Can I say a sponsor? Somebody picked my mother and I up because we were struggling. So out of thousands of children in my community, I was the one who was picked and given a chance, in life. So my donors sponsored my education. I went to really good private school in Nairobi. But every time I went back on holiday, of course, my friends and family were still living in the same situation where they were running around barefoot. They didn't even have clothes. Their clothes were torn and tattered. They slept hungry. When they went to school, they didn't even have classrooms. They sat under trees and so on. And yet I was having, you know, everything. I was like a little princess. So it never felt right for me, even growing up. So eventually that is why I decided I have to go back and give back. I can't just like eat my portion and let my friends just look at me and I don't go back and, you know, give back. So that's the reason why. So when I went back, I mean, I went and did my modeling around the world and so on. So in 2015, I went back home. I went back to base myself at home, where I started my charity. I started with just basically with the resources I had, which was me, myself, as somebody who the younger generation looked up to. So what I did mentorship, especially when it came to young girls, teenage mothers, and if they were not yet, if they hadn't fallen into motherhood, I encouraged them not to, and you know, just empower them to, you know, to not give up. Because most of them, the reason why they fall into early pregnancies because they can't afford high school. Primary school is free in Kenya, but then when you go into high school, you need to pay for it. So most of them, parents can't afford to do that. So the girl is like, okay, why should I finish my primary school yet, even though once I finish, I'm not going to go anywhere. So they usually start families early. So I just encourage them, like, don't worry, you never know what fate has in place for you. Look at me, I came from the same situation. And it's not because it just miraculously things happened for me. You never know what is in store for you and as well. So that's what I used to do. And then I went into, of course, I got a bit more resources where I gave sanitary pads to girls to keep them in school, because in my community, every time a girl was menstruating, she had to sit at home. This meant that they were, you know, behind when it came to education compared to the boys. So I gave them that chance to keep them in school even when they were menstruating. But also with that I didn't want, because we have one of the biggest refugee communities in our community. Yes, one of the biggest refugee camp in our community. So I also went into the refugee camp to give a hand. I partnered with the UNHCR, which is the refugee department of the UN, and also Google. I went into the refugee camp to, I gave them, I did skill-based program, but in my area of work, which was designing, photography, makeup artistry, hair, digital skills, you know, because right now everybody has a phone. They can, you know, you can sell yourself from anywhere. So I went in with you know, professionals in each of that area that I have mentioned. I went into the refugee camp. We do a program of 2 weeks where we teach the refugee youth about all these different skills. And the whole goal in that is so they don't have to sit and wait for handouts from the UN, because they're just basic. There's really nothing you can do with that. You know, that is not a way for somebody to, you know, have a dignified life. I think you need to empower them in order to help themselves. So that was my goal with that. But then with COVID-19, you know, with the economic crisis that hit the whole world. So just imagine already people who are, you know, who are in impoverished areas. Now this was exacerbated. So I knew already in my community, a lot of children were sitting out of school because they didn't have a simple thing such as a notebook to write on. It's the cheapest thing you can even think about, you know? So I was like, okay, now there'll be even more children sitting out of school because of this economic crisis. And that is very detrimental to our to the northern region or the pastoralist communities, because we are so behind when it comes to literacy levels compared to the rest of Kenya. And also with climate change, you know, there's now there's severe drought. our people are used to, they're used to their lifestyles, which is nomadic pastoralist life. They depend on their cattle. But now the cattle are dying, people are dying because of climate change. It's something that they don't even fathom. They can't even fathom what's going on. They're so innocent. And and then even when you try to explain to them, like, oh, okay, this is not your fault. There's some other countries emitting, causing this drought. There's China or America. They're like, okay, they don't even know those countries exist. So it's insane. Unfortunately, my people are going to have to change from their usual lifestyle and start trading and farming. And there's no way you're going to do this without education. So I thought it was fundamental for me to keep these children in school and provide them free notebooks. So that is what I'm doing right now, and that's what I'm focusing on right now. And also, I didn't want to go and just buy any other notebook from any other supermarket in Kenya, because they promote so much Western culture on the cover of our children's books. So I designed my own notebooks where I have illustrated myself in the different tribes. So I made myself a little princess in the different tribes of Kenya. I think you saw our books, right?
Beautiful.
Yeah, so I'm promoting culture to the children, but also keeping them in school as well.
So, we go back to the book. She has the notebooks, and then when she starts writing her story, it's going to all come full circle.
I already have my characters.
Yes. But I want to clarify something, because in America, this is something that, many people are first exposed to Africa, especially back in, I'm from the 80s era, and they would talk about sponsors and donors. But now sponsor, you listen to the song, I Need Myself a Sponsor. Sponsor has taken on a different
I know. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry I mentioned that. Can you just when I say sponsor, do that thing, beep, bleep. Make it do like a swear, that thing they use to mask a swear word, please.
Yeah.
Okay, sponsor okay, so it's what? It's a donor.
Okay, but they call them sponsors, so you're not wrong, because they say sponsor a child, for $1 a day.
Right.
And people here, we don't know, did that money ever get to the people? Because we know in Haiti now, much of the money that was donated never got to the people. So here's a real life example of someone telling you they had a sponsor, they had a donor, and they benefited.
Yes, I did. Yes.
That's great news.
And also, if they also want to be a sponsor, of course, they can donate to the Ajuma Foundation, because oh my gosh, there's a lot that is needed. As much as I am doing my very best, but of course, there's so much more support that is needed. There's loads and loads of children out there that need your help. So, whoever is out there that can, give, of course, Christmas is giving, it's giving season. So I'm going to give Colin our links for anybody who would like to donate to our cause.
And have you gone into the public speaking arena? Because your whole life, when you tell that story, has been blessed. Like, you just get God's blessing from youth to, and things, again, you said teenage mother, but then you get blessed, and then you get blessed again, and the blessings keep coming down. Have you gone on the, circuit, the Toastmasters circuit, the NSA, National Speakers Association, where you're speaking about your journey? Are you there yet as a paid public speaker?
Not yet. I haven't yet explored that yet. So you're teaching me a lot, actually, through this, or you're giving me a lot of ideas and things to go and explore.
It's a must. You have to share the story, because it's, in the time of social media, at least here in America, our algorithm is set for negative first. When you go to Asia, it's a little different, but they're feeding us here so much negative, where people are just so against each other. And it's like, even Kenyans who come to America, my Kenyan friends who tell me, oh, we're Bantu too. Our people are originally from this place in Cameroon, and then we migrated, but they say we don't really see too much hope for Kenya. And they haven't been back, some of them, in 20 years, Africans from all over. And you're like, this is crazy because Africa is exploding and it's becoming like, in America or Europe where you're seeing so many people. So we have to run back before it's just amazing. So your story has to be told, and international model and speaker, God willing, in Jesus Christ's name, it has to happen.
I think a lot of people who are running, they're not really running from the country or the continent. I think they're running from the government and politics. I think so.
Okay. Well, politics is
Let's
the
not
same.
get into politics. Let me not even, but I'm just saying, just so you know, we're not running away from our country. We're running away from politics and government and, all that, mumbo jumbo.
And as a dual citizen, it's the reason why one of the reasons why I like getting other citizenships, the reason why I want to get more and more residencies, because politics doesn't impact you as much when you have options, when you can go other places.
That's the same thing with me. I'm comfortable. I'm a dual citizen as well. I have option, I can go home, do whatever it is I need to do. But of course, when it comes, I'm treated better. Like when it comes to system wise, I'm treated better in Europe than my own government, right? So at least I have that option. So I understand people who are in Kenya and don't have that option and they want to just get away. So I totally understand that as well. That's why I'm telling you, we're not running from our country. We're running from the system.
Okay, and I'm running from the country. As violent as this place is, I mean, I people say, I live in a bubble. I have plenty of land here, but I'm running from the country because when a Black man can't even run down the street without people gunning him down,
it's still the system. That is the system. It's not the country. That's the system.
That's the system. Let the system in the country work that out. I'm gonna be in Africa chilling, where I really consider, home.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, all my neighbors here, all three of my neighbors, no problems here, but I have to know that it's bigger than me and that my daughters, LondonandSydney.com, that's their website, y'all check it out. I need to make sure for them and what comes after them that they have options wherever they want to go. And all empires fall. So we're seeing shifts in the world. Tell the people, because I cannot wait for you to be a YouTuber, podcaster, speaker, and they get more and more of your wisdom. But tell the people, any last words and where they can find you, follow you, and connect.
Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm not good. Okay, I don't know, as much as you think I'm bubbly and so on, I'm not good when it comes to blogging or YouTube or just general like talking on the internet and so on. I'm not good at that at all. But yes, I'm on Instagram, Ajuma Nasenyana, also my foundation, Ajuma Foundation, and then I also have Ajuma Limited on Instagram as well, or even Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Yes, like I said, it's the giving season. The children I go and I work with or give, right? Usually when I go and visit these children, yes, I give a book, but you find a child is crying because they're thirsty or they're hungry, or you find, you go to a school like where you went before, usually the World Food Program is an emergency relief organization. It's not like a permanent thing. So yes, you'll find the World Food Program providing food to a certain school, and the school will be abundant with children. But for example, now during the drought, of course, at a certain time, the World Food Program has to pull out because, like I said, it's an emergency relief organization. So the first time I went to a certain school, there was like 400 children. Now with the drought, I went and found like only 25 to 30 children because kids were malnourished and too weak to go to school. Can you imagine? So I need people, I need support. Sometimes I feel like I just want people to, to hear me or see what's happening. And I want to scream and cry out sometimes, but please, I need people's help, especially in this giving season. We have, I hope Colin is gonna we have a GoFundMe link we're going to put up tomorrow. Karen, please, you'll help me to put that up on, of course, on this program for whoever would like to give. And we will really appreciate your support.
Of course, we would definitely put the links for that when you send it to me, the website, all of that on there. And if you want to hear more from her, I want you guys to go, to her Instagram, her LinkedIn, and just flood her with comments and say, we need more, we want more.
Oh, they need to tell me, man, if people want me to talk about something. I mean, it's, I'm just scattered. I really don't do talking on social media. But if there's anything somebody wants me to touch on or who they want me to talk about, of course, they can always, request and I'll see what I can do.
You guys got it. You guys got it. And remember, she has a team full of young people, not just in her home place, but she even has a very feisty, fierce sidekick that we're going to talk about that off air. We're going to talk about that off air because I'm not going to do that to you. But yeah, we're going to talk about that because she may be, next. Because you guys as a team are like, you guys have a whole show of your own. But you guys, great storytellers always want you wanting more. So I want you to do one thing because you've been blessed by the game. I want you to share the game. Make sure you share it. It will change someone's life. You guys, be blessed.
Hi everyone. Have you ever been curious about visiting Africa? Which African country were you interested in? Kenya, Nigeria, Uganda, South Africa, Ethiopia? Which country are you interested in? My good friend, Kellen Cash Coleman, came up with a course called My First Trip to Africa that'll guide you through this process. It's only $20, and in this course you'll learn about passports, visas, vaccinations that you need before you go there, as well as a budget, how much the trip is going to cost. He also talks about what you should pack, what you should take with you, how you should travel on a budget. Did you know that $100 is worth 1,000 South African rand and over 10,000 Kenyan shillings? So imagine what you can do with $100 back home. I say back home because I'm from Sudan, I'm African, I already know how it's like. I know that, when you convert Canadian and American money, it goes a long way when you're traveling across Africa. So if you're curious, if Africa is a place that you've always wanted to go, always wanted to move there, Kellen Cash is the person to ask. Check out the course. There's a little preview you can listen to before you actually purchase it. If you're interested in this course, visit www.diversifiedgame.com. Don't miss out.